How do you feel he did? What was your estimation?
Stephen A. pointed out some failures that he had, and that's fair. He built 2 60-win teams.
Okay.
One last decade, one this decade. One of them was short-circuited by the brawl, which you could argue was self-inflicted. Nonetheless, that team was 60 wins the year before, was off to a tremendous start. That team might have won the championship that year had there not been. We'll never know.
Yeah.
The second 60-win team was short-circuited by a combination of LeBron James and the Heat and Paul George breaking his leg.
Yeah.
The Pacers have been put out 4 times in the last 7 years by LeBron James. They've run into him. So that's a factor in all this. The other thing is, and this is now one gigantic hot potato. It is clear, it is screaming out of every pore in Paul George that he has no intention of signing an extension this summer. And therefore, it has now become he will be on the clock to be traded. And Larry Bird probably does not want to make that
I
move.
was going to say, do you think that had something to do with it? If he knows that Paul George doesn't want to be there, he didn't want to necessarily be responsible for that?
I'll tell you one thing. I know that we've seen ex-Celtics make deals before. Certainly. And I wonder what this means for the Celtics' chances if they're now not Danny Ainge is not negotiating with Larry Bird, and he's now going to be negotiating with Kevin Pritchard, who's a competent executive who built a very strong team in Portland and has been a key member of this front office. So that, to me, like my snap reaction is, well, the bar that the Celtics have to clear might have just gotten a little higher if they want Paul George.
I mean, I think when you look at everything with Paul George going into this summer, the time to trade him with the maximum return may have already passed. I mean, we've gotten to the part, I think you've got one more shot right now before the draft, before you've offered him an extension, and he's said whether he will or will not accept it. Obviously, if he accepts it, you don't trade him. But if they offer him an extension and he does not accept, you have to trade him.